It seems like some Nintendo fans still think it's 2014. They still think they can get away with this. They think that a young Harmon Smith doesn't have a YouTube channel, doesn't have a real presence online, isn't a real personality who can come out and call them out on their nonsense. You know, back in 2014, when they cried about Tropical Freeze, when they tried to say it was a game that nobody wanted, nobody asked for, nobody was going to play, that it was an extremely disappointing release, that it was a waste of Retro's talent, they got away with it. It wasn't until Tropical Freeze came out and people realized that it was one of the best 2D platformers ever made that the general opinion began to turn around on that game. But my opinion is and always has been that the backlash never should have been a thing to begin with. Tropical Freeze has proven itself to be a far superior product to No Man's Sky, which had the opposite reception. And to this day, a lot of people refuse to admit that they did anything wrong. They refuse to admit that Donkey Kong Country is a viable IP, that 2D platformers are a stellar video game genre, and they refuse to admit that Nintendo dominates in this industry. This goes on like all the time. You know, the past several years have seen several situations in which the community has rallied against a lot of different Nintendo games. Games like Bayonetta 3, No More Heroes 3, Metroid Dread, right? You know, this has been happening over and over and over and over again, right? Most recently with Mario and Luigi Brothership and The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, right? Great Nintendo games that were disparaged and ignored by the online gaming community for very petty reasons. This is a constant, never-ending cycle when it comes to this community, and it cannot be ignored anymore. When you see the reception to Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, when you see the people complaining about it, when you see people like trying to complain about the visuals or trying to say nobody cares about this, like, I ask you, think about this. Think! Donkey Kong Country Returns was an extremely popular release on the Wii. That was 14 years ago, right? This is a re-release of a highly successful Wii game. What exactly are you losing out on by having this be released to a new audience? What exactly are you thinking when you're sitting there making these videos trying to say that, like, nobody wanted this, I've played this already, I don't care? Hey, plenty of people do. Okay, like, I don't care about what you think about, like, well, the fur physics on Donkey Kong aren't nearly as good as they were on Tropical Freeze. Nobody cares. Okay, nobody cares about the particle effects that the bat shoots out as it flies after you. Nobody cares about the frame rate. Nobody cares about what you think of, like, whether or not this game is better than Tropical Freeze. The objective reality is that Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is going to be a good video game. There is no downplaying this fact. There is no damage controlling it. There is no rejecting reality, right? This should be a beloved Nintendo game at this point in time. And yet, we constantly see the same people coming out and complaining about it, just like they do with everything else. It is appalling about how consistent these people are about these situations. This is pathetic. This really needs to be called out for what it is just a bunch of YouTubers trying desperately to find something to complain about.